So today our problem statement is to print a solid rhombus by using Java program. A solid rhombus is something which looks like this. So here we have taken 4 rows. So you can increase the number of rows as per requirement. So if at all you have taken 4 rows, this is how your solid rhombus look like. So let's understand the explanation of logic behind getting this solid rhombus. So here we are taking the help of a nested for loop where the outer loop is the one which looks after the number of rows which we are looking for, and inside this outer loop there are two inner loops. One inner loop is the one which is looking after printing the initial or leading spaces that we require, whereas the second inner loop is responsible for printing the remaining asterisks. And this system.out.println is going to bring the cursor at the new line or new row after each row respective spaces and asterisks are printed. Now, looking into our requirement, so we have an inner loop which is actually requires to print only the asterisks. So when we have called this method rhombus by passing the value 4, which means we are looking for 4 rows for which the solid rhombus is to be constructed. Now when we get into this method, n value is 4. Now when this outer loop begins, as you can see, the outer loop I starts with 1 and goes up to 4, which means this outer loop is going to execute 4 times with I value 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now let's start iteration 1, that is for row number 1 when your I value is 1. Now when I value is 1, this inner for loop which is responsible for printing spaces, see it has started with j value 1 and j less than or equal to n minus I. So what is n value? 4. So 4 minus I value is 1, that is 3. So this for loop is going to execute 3 times for j value 1, 2 and 3, which means these many spaces are going to be printed at the beginning of your first row. Now once this for loop ends, now we jump into the second inner loop where this loop is always going to print 4 asterisks because the n value we have supplied is 4 and k begins with 1 goes up to 4. So every time this inner for loop executing, it is going to print 4 asterisks. So as a result, you can see I value is 1 and k value is 1, 2, 3, 4. Which means by the end of this first iteration, by the end of this second inner loop, I can say we could get 3 spaces and followed by 4 asterisks like this. This is a space, this is a space, this is a space. This is what we have got out of this j loop. And the remaining asterisks, what we have got 4 asterisks. This is because of the inner loop that is representing the asterisks. Now soon after this inner loop of asterisk is over, this println is going to bring the cursor to the new row now. So moving on to the second iteration where the I value is becoming 2 now and the inner loop is going to start with 1 and goes up to n minus I, that is 4 minus 2, that is 2, which means j value will be 1 and 2, which means I am going to get 2 spaces at the beginning. And when it comes to the asterisk, I mean this k loop which is going to print always the 4 asterisks. So you can see the k value is 1, 2, 3, 4. Now by the end of both of these inner loops, for the second time, I could get 2 spaces followed by again 4 asterisks. Now once again this println is going to bring to the third row and the outer loop begins with I value 3 now. So for I value 3, this j loop is going to start with 1 and n minus I means 4 minus 3, that is 1. So 1 less than equal to 1 means only once I am going to get the space. Whereas the k loop, as I said earlier, is going to print fixed number of asterisks, that is 4 asterisks. So For I value 3, once again we see k is 1, 2, 3, 4. As a result of, by the end of this third iteration, we will be getting only one asterisk because of this j, and remaining 4 asterisks as usual because of the k loop. And once again this println is going to bring the cursor to the new line, and now the iteration is going to go up to the outer loop, where the outer loop I value is going to begin from 4. Because I value is 4 now, this inner loop which starts with 1, n minus I means 4 minus 4, that is 0. Which means this for loop is not at all going to execute, which means we are not going to get any spaces. Now when it comes to the k loop, as usual, it is going to print here 4 asterisks. Now by the end of this fourth iteration, we could see there are no spaces at the beginning, but we got the remaining 4 asterisks because of this. Now as the outer loop is going to terminate when I becomes 5, so by the end of this entire method call, we have got a rhombus which is a solid one. Thank you.